Okay, we're going to be on oops, I can't even draw today. Lesson 2.2, and we're going to now involve something called percents. So we're going to be converting percents to decimals. No, percents to fractions and fractions to percents. The decimal one is the next day. Wow, that's an even longer title. There we go. Okay, so let's talk about the word percent. So we're actually going to break it into two words. We're going to break it into per, which means to divide by, and we're going to break it into the word cent, which means 100. Okay, so you put them back together, and it means to divide by 100. Okay, so basically you are comparing a number to 100. So that's another way to think about it. Okay. Now, it uses a little symbol, which interestingly enough, if you took those numbers and rearranged them, voila la la la, it makes the number 100. Isn't that crazy? Okay. So people use different kind of models. They use the hundreds board. I'm sure you guys use that guy, where you had the 10 rows with 10 squares in each row, and that gave you 100 squares, and then you would color in how many of those, and that's how many out of 100. Okay, let me just give you one example here. Let's use blue. So if we had 45%, that would be 45 out of 100, or 45 over 100. That way to think about it. So the two things that we're going to practice today is to go from a percent to a fraction, and then from a fraction to a percent. So let's start with the first one. Percent to fraction. This is so simple. All you have to do is remember what percent means. Okay? So we're going to take the percent number is going to be your numerator. And then here comes the fun bit. Denominator equals 100, because that's what percent means. Now, here's what you don't want anymore. You're going to drop off the percent symbol. You don't need it anymore because you're representing that percent symbol by dividing by 100. Okay? And then the only thing you need to remember to do is to simplify the fraction. If you can. You may not be able to. Okay? Now, going the other direction gets a little bit trickier. And if my memory serves me correctly, your book is pretty nice to you, okay? And by that, your job is to get the denominator to equal 100. because that's what percent means. Now, once you get the denominator equal to 100, then we're going to have to change. So basically, we're going to create equivalent fractions, okay? So that's going to be the big thing on this one. So you're going to create an equivalent fraction with 100 as the denom. In order to do that, you may have to do some scaling. Scale up or back to get to 100. Okay. And then don't forget, when you're scaling, you're treating both parts the same. So you're going to then, at that point, the numerator, or actually, let's try this. Let's add this word, new numerator, is the percent number. Now, the funny thing is, it's not a percent until I can see the percent sign. So remember, with percent of fraction, we dropped off the percent symbol. This one, we need to add the percent symbol. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to go to my next page, and we are going to do some practice problems. So directions are going to say write each percent as a fraction. And again, they don't need to say this, but in simplest form. Reminder, you need to reduce. So we have 75%. So again, this one's super cinchy. Keep the 75 in the numerator, and you put it over 100 always. And then you just reduce. Let's see, I can divide a 25 out of each of those because I know my money. And 25 divided by, or 75 divided by 25 is 3. 100 divided by 25 is 4. And that's it, you're done. All right, let's do another one like that. 38%. So again, 38 is your numerator. The denominator is always 100. That's what percent tells you, to divide by 100. So let's see, they're both even, so I know I can divide out of 2. I might be able to do more than that, but I'm not sure yet. Let's see, 2 goes into 3 once, which is 2 with the 1 left over. 2 goes into 18 9 times. 2 goes into 150 times. 19's prime, it can't go into 50 evenly. So I'm done. Okay. All right. I'm going to give you a problem. A little bit of a word problem. So we've got a kid who likes different types of movies. So we're going to create this table. And it's going to tell us what percent of this guy's collection, or no, this one says the percent of movie that's rented during a month. So we have action, we have children's, we have comedy. Oh, speaking of which, we watched Soul on Disney Plus over the vacation and very much enjoyed that one. Drama, horror, and romance. Or gross. My daughter would say, ew, gross. Okay, so action, 35% of the movies rented were action. 5% were children's. 45% were comedy. 5% was drama. 5% was horror. And 5% was romance. So clear-cut comedy is the winner here. So it asks, what fraction of the rentals were action movies? So let's see, we had 35%, and that's going to become 35 over 100. I can divide a 5 out of each of those. And that's going to give me, 5 goes into 35 7 times, 5 goes into 120 times. So 7/20 of the movies were action. I like that fraction action. And then what fraction were horror? I don't really like horror movies. Though I do a lot of true crime, which is like real life horror, right? So let's see, horror was 5%. So we have 5%. So we're going to keep the 5. And then we're going to divide by 100. That's what percent means. We're going to divide both of those by 5. And we're going to get 5 divided by 5 is 1. 100 divided by 5 is 20. So 1/20 of the movies rented were horror. Okay, all right. Let's go the other direction. Write as a percent. Nope, number 4. So we've got 9/12. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to create a ratio table. And my goal is to get to 100. So things that go into 100. 2, but I can't divide 9 by 6. 4, 3. Ooh, there you go. That'll work. If I divide 12 by 3, I'm going to get a 4. And I can divide 9 by 3, which is 3. Now, some of you were doing some really weird numbers on the test, and so that's when you got yourself into trouble. Okay, you have to divide numerator and denominator by the same number when you scale up or scale back. And then, let's see, that's going to give you 4 times what? Let's see, 4 times 25 is 100, so 3 times 25 is 75. So this is going to be 75, and we have to add the percent symbol. Okay? Let's say in this one that we've got this guy Mitch made 12 out of 40 shots. Oops, I was going to say shorts. During the championship game. What percent did he make? So he had 12, and he made 12, and he shot 40. So we want to know what percent did he make. So we're going to change this guy into a percent. So in other words, we have to get the denominator equal to 100. Okay? So let me show you a different way to solve this problem. We're going to set this guy equal to, it's got to have 100 in the denominator, and we've got some sort of mystery here, okay? We don't know what goes in there. So we're going to do something called cross products, where we get 40 times the mystery number equals, and then we're going to multiply in the other direction, and we're going to get 12 times 100. So that's going to give me 40 times the mystery number equals 1200. And then we're going to divide, because the opposite of multiplying by 40 is dividing by 40. So this is big stuff I'm showing you right now. And we get mystery is, let's see, 4 goes into 12 3 times, and then there's an extra 0. So I would get 30. Now, what I just did is the kind of next level of what you'll be doing in 7th grade. But let me show you how it relates back to a ratio table. So remember, your goal is you want to get to 100. You can't do it from 40, so we got to figure out an alternative way. So 4 goes into 100, but if I divide by 10, it doesn't go into 12. Let's see, 10 goes into 100. I can divide both of those by 4. There's my goal. That's what I'm doing. So I'm going to scale back by dividing by 4. It's going to give me 3 on the top, and it's going to give me 10 on the bottom. And then I'm going to have to scale up by multiplying by 10. And I get 30. So both ways, I get 30, and then have to add the percent symbol. So I'm going to say Mitch made 30% of his shots. All right, and there you go. All right, we'll see you guys. Bye now.